Good morning. Today we're going to learn a new type of animation. It's going to be a video timeline animation. So we're going to choose the Film and Video tab when we're creating a new project in Photoshop. When we click on that tab, you're going to look for the middle of the road size, 1280 by 720. If you don't see it, you might have to pop open the presets and look down here. This says HDTV 720p. We're going to choose that one. I'm going to give it a title, Simple Timeline Animation. 1280, 720, and a 72 resolution, RGB color, and a white background, and click Create. I'm going to close this tab down here because we don't need that right now. These guides right here are title safe guides. You would put any kind of titling inside the inner one, any kind of shapes and stuff inside the second box, and anything on the outer box might not be seen on somebody's regular television screen. Right now, before we get started, I'm going to choose the ellipse tool down here. Remember, it could be hidden behind any of these other tools that you previously used. So I'm going to choose the ellipse tool. That's also U on your keyboard. I'm going to make sure up here I've chosen a pixel ellipse like this. I want to click a new layer so it puts the ellipse on its own layer. We don't want it on a background layer. I'm going to draw the ellipse. It's going to choose a color that's the foreground color, as indicated down at the bottom. I'm going to use the Shift key to make it a perfect circle, letting up with my mouse and then my Shift. Notice it made it the foreground color down here. Now, we want to actually animate this. We want to make it go across the screen and then back. We're going to go to Window, Timeline. There, remember we were using Create Frame Animation before. This time we want to choose Create Video Timeline and then actually click on that button. Notice it takes layer 1 and it puts it down here, layer 1. We don't see the background layer right now. That's good. These checker marks mean that this ellipse is on a transparent layer. If I pop open the layer panel by clicking on this arrow here, you'll see 3 properties: position, opacity, and style. Right now, we're only going to change the position. So I'm going to click on this stopwatch to enable keyframe animation. Notice it put a keyframe there. This is your timeline indicator, your current time indicator. In the video world, it's also called a playhead. These are also called keyframes, and this is your layer 1 that corresponds with your layer panel over here. I'm going to use the Move tool. First thing I'm going to do is I want to leave the starting position here. I'm going to move my playhead to somewhere between 2 and 3 seconds. This is 2 seconds. This is 3 seconds. We've got 5 seconds of timeline here. Now I'm going to move my ellipse all the way to the other side of the screen and let go. If I scrub my playhead back to the beginning, this is the beginning, and if I hit play, it moves it across the screen. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Now I'm going to move my playhead all the way to the end of my timeline, and I'm going to take this ellipse and I'm going to move it back across the screen to its beginning position. Notice that I have guides that come on. I want it to go straight across, not bounce around. So I'm going to drop it like that. If I rewind my film by clicking this rewind button, starts it at the beginning, and if I hit play, the ellipse moves across the screen and then back to the beginning. And that's it. If I go to File, Save, it's going to ask me where I want to save this. You want to save it in your H drive. I'm going to save mine in Animation folder, and I'm going to call this folder Timeline Animation Basics. Open up that folder and hit Save. I'm saving it as a PSD first. Click OK. And then File, Export, Save for Web. And give it a few seconds. Here we go. It's loading up. It's going to take it a few seconds because this is a bigger file type than a frame animation. And so you'll see our image size down here. You'll see that animation, hopefully it will be looping forever. And we're going, once it hits play, we'll hit save. If it doesn't, we might want to reduce the file size of this so that it is not too large, but we want to first see if it's going to load up here. All right. It's not letting me play it yet. There we go. Once that hits play, it's being a little bit laggy. So I'm going to hit stop there. Might have to give it a few seconds to let it render, and then it's going to come back. There we go, and it's going to play forever. If you hit save and it go ahead and it lets you save it, that's good. If not, like I said, you might want to come back and reduce that percent to like 75%. I'm going to save it into the folder that I just created and then turn it in. I'll turn in both files.